Goswami, where are you? There. All right, he's an entrepreneur and he has his own company called Damayan Software. Am I right? All right, we have him first. Then we have our dear Gitima Das Krishna. She is an engineer by training and an economist by passion and by profession. So she's going to enlighten us there. And we have my very own Hazarika sir. So you don't want any introductions?
Time is short. I think we can skip some of the another fourth speaker is there.
4 speakers are in my list.
Who is the fourth one?
Fourth one, Baisha, coming that from AZ.
Those who have come up from outside, they should be given a chance. And you see, it is already we are 1 hour late. And if you are able to manage that, it is okay.
All right. Yeah.
5 minutes, sir.
Yes, we would like to hear everyone. Okay, Hemant, can you please come over, please?
5 minutes, sir. Yeah.
It's also hard to speak.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. So, I don't know. Actually, I was here to listen to Sashwati's program, right?
Yes.
And Dhruva Jyoti, he actually told me, or he called me last 3 days that you should speak on the emerging technologies. Now, I don't know how many of you are actually interested to hear about emerging technologies. Maybe none.
Emerging
Technology.
See, I tell you.
emerging
See, what I'm telling you, generally, I do not speak a lot when I, in front of my wife. Because,
Good excuse.
You should not speak a lot in front of your wife. So anyway, because Dhruva requested me, I'll just briefly touch upon some things. I actually prepared one presentation, 3-4 slides, but I thought that's not really needed right now. But what I prepared, and after I heard from Sanjeev Sabhabandit sir, I think I'll also change. It's more an extempore stuff. See, I think overall, when I am talking about technology, I am primarily touching upon the information technology part because this is the area where I specialize. And over the last few years, there's a tremendous change in terms of digital transformation. There's a lot of automation, and I tell you, at some point of time, all of us will be impacted in some way or the other, right? At the same time, I think digital transformation, IT, this is one thing that can also play a significant role in transforming our regional aspirations in many different ways. Because if you talk about setting up any industry or anything, it requires a lot of planning. You need probably raw material, you have to see many other infrastructure related stuff. But when you talk about information technology, only infrastructure you need is probably a good internet connectivity. If you have that, really things work. I tell you, in 2013-14, I was associated with IIT Guwahati, and I was part of a program called, it's part of the Skill India program. So my job was to work with the colleges in the rural areas under IIT Guwahati's outreach program. So one of the things we wanted to do is to connect or create a network of some rural colleges with the colleges or institutions of excellence where the rural colleges can get a lot of help from faculties from IITs and stuff. And we did a lot of preparation. In fact, we created a framework, we created a platform, and I started that program in a college in Baihata Shariali, Cook Kamrup College. And the outcome was not successful, the reason being we did not even have adequate internet bandwidth, right? So I believe these are the problems we need to really look into it and we need to solve. And otherwise the world actually is moving away. Today we talk about digital transformation, and Dhruva, you asked me about few things. What are the prominent areas that are being, I would say, the areas of focus, right? I probably point out three things. The artificial intelligence, machine learning, one thing. The second one is the information, IoT, Internet of Things. And the third thing is the blockchain. Probably we are not hearing too much of blockchain, but I'm telling you, in few years from now, blockchain is going to impact the way we keep our information. And this whole world is becoming or going through a transformation where people are using more distributed storage. Probably everybody, if you recall, at some point of time, you used to do torrent. You remember those peer-to-peer, you can download movies, right? So blockchain probably is a further extension of torrent. So everybody will be part of that network. And if you see significantly IoT, blockchain, artificial intelligence, machine learning, they are all integrated together. And in order to support this kind of technology, I think from a regional perspective, I would feel we should focus more on building that infrastructure. Someone should realize that. See, last year probably or beginning of this year, I remember we had a big, investment program in Assam, right? They invited almost everybody from all over India, right? There's a lot of commitment. Unless we make the infrastructure or the foundation level work, the result will be zero. There will be few things here and there, but there will not be an overall growth. So I think as a community, probably we should start focusing on that thing. As an individual initiative, whenever I go to Guwahati, I try to take an appointment with the IT minister. I try to spend some time. I talk to him. I tell him about the importance of creating that, because I tell you, we have a tremendous potential in terms of creating a big human resource industry in the IT sector in that particular region, because traditionally we speak English. We speak English, and we have many good institutions across the area. Now I believe there are several NITs are coming up, so that area can be a very good hub. And secondly, what government of Assam is talking about, looking to east, right, the whole Southeast Asian hub. I think Assam can become that core of that hub. If you go to now, if you look at the the eastern part, the Philippines have become the hub of the whole BPO industry. Why? Because they also speak English, right? And I think you will not find better English-speaking people than in the Northeast, right? So possibly that is some kind of direction we should take. And then this diaspora, a lot of people are sitting in Guwahati, we are here, we should do it together. Because if I go alone and meet someone here and there, it does not have any impact. But as a community, if we start pushing, and I tell you, these decisions have to be taken by somebody who understands technology, or who has that vision, how the things are moving on. Because otherwise, if you leave it to some politicians and bureaucrats, they will never do it. So I think last time in the first diaspora we talked about this, it did not really go through. So probably we should take something like this and we should create this community. I'm ready to volunteer, and I think we can work together. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I speak his language, so I understand what he's saying. And I have one thing, a thought for you to think. As much as internet is coming up, I have one big black hole. How do we block pornography? Internet will be available everywhere, all children, all ages, everywhere, illiterate, literate. Please keep that in your thought and come back with a solution to that. I really want to block pornography. All right, thank you so much. Now over to Gitimaba. It's always a joy to see her since our college days.
Thank you. Okay, good good evening, everybody. So as Heaven was saying, even Dhruva was after me, ki speech hata dibo lage. So I was like, everyone is here to listen to Sashwati and to be here for the cultural program. Who wants a speech, and that too in macroeconomics? And macroeconomics, anyway, the economics students find it boring. So I don't know, a bunch of engineers will find macroeconomics boring. And if they said 10 minutes, বেলেগ কাকু চাগে থ্ৰেটেন কৰা নাই মোকটো ফোনত 3 দিনৰ পৰা থ্ৰেটেন কৰি আছে 10 মিনিটছতকে 1 মিনিট বেছি নকবা and now it has come down to 5 minutes, so I won't go like and say like I want to say something very big on some big ideas on economics. So I thought, let me tell you a story. So 5 minutes, I'll tell you a story. It's a story that involves all of us, story that we have seen everything around us. Okay, so I think I'll use this mic. So the title of my thing is Where We Came From and Where We Are Headed. So where we came from, I'm keeping it because we know where we came from. We were a great country and then we slowed down, and then we are now expected to be the 5th largest economy in the whole world, and we are supposed to be the 3rd largest by 2027. But where we are going, this is the story that I want to talk about, and this is based on not my idea. This was based on the article in Financial Times by Jayant Sinha. He was the managing director of an investment fund then, and now he is a minister. And together with Ashutosh Bharsne, he was a political science professor of the Brown University. They say that the India now resembles the American Gilded Age, which is from 1865 to 1900, the era of robber barons. Okay, this idea in 2011 they wrote, and it stayed in the back burner for some time until now it has come up again, and people are now doing extensive research on this topic because they find it resonates. How? So this is the Gilded Age of America. It was an age, it was characterized by fast economic growth, high inequality, widespread corruption. So it sounds familiar, right? In India, there were these industrialists, Rockefeller, those oil barons, J.P. Morgan, the financier, Carnegie, railroad steel magnate. Then they have the Astor family, the landlords of New York. It was said that they made the money, they cheated to get the money, make their money, and they lorded over the common people. So this is the era they call the American Gilded Age. And after that, from 1900, they had the progressive era where they had the cleaner politics, fight against corruption, honest business practices, where the private wealth were channeled into the philanthropy. So the similarities between the American Gilded Age and the present day India. I don't have to tell you, you already have guessed it. So first is the urbanization. They had fast urbanization in US at that time, and the same thing that we are going through now. They had volatile, noisy democracy with high voter turnout. Then high inequality, increasing wealth of the super rich class in US. Like seen in US, Indian billionaires have also used 3 ways to create wealth. Grabbing natural resources, land, coal mines, pushing favorable regulation in various industries, telecom, influence, official policy to suit their end, and preventing the entry of world competition. The crony capitalism. We have seen the season of scams, right? We have seen the coal scam, CWZ scam, 2G scam, 3G scam, and we had the headlines like it is hurting India's brand image. Then this has led to the public outrage. We have seen the Anna Hazare, the movement, which ultimately elected the AAP government in Delhi, which of course didn't live up to the expectation, but that's another story. So we have gone through this. But when the India's Gilded Age start, the research says that it starts between Manmohan Singh's election victory in the summer of 2004 and Vijay Mallya's 50th birthday party. It's in December 18, 2015. Because he flew in hundreds of tycoons in his special jet to his Goa villa to celebrate his birthday. And this is the time that India's growth story became flamboyant, the blingy thing that we want to show off. So the flamboyancy continues. The post-liberalization era was dramatic, but its effect on growth rate and the stock market was moderate. But after 2004, it was like Chak De India. So we had double-digit growth rate. These are the heady days. The consumer economy began to take huge strides. Millions bought their first cars. They built the houses, took flights for the first time. Then we had Malias, Gautam Adani, Navin Jindal. They made major investment. They got cheap loans from the banks and they pumped in the money. The stock markets rose. And then you felt like nothing can go wrong. And the flamboyancy continues. You can see Angela, it's 2004. Then you have these weddings, right? The Lakshmi Mittal, his daughter had an engagement in Versailles. So, and it said that he spent 240 crores in the wedding. Now, of course, it continues. I'm just saying that Ambani's daughter, we have got in our WhatsApp message, the wedding invite has got 3 lakh per invite. So it continues, the flamboyancy. But where are the fault lines? The fault lines are this rising inequality. The 10% of the income earners now take 50% of the national income. Crony capitalism continues, which led to the scandals and the election of Modi government in 2014. So we also, this era also led to the twin balance sheet. Our banks are all filled with non-performing assets, right? They have got non-performing assets, and then the industry, especially infrastructure industries like JP Greens, they're still selling their assets, but they haven't been able to clean up their books. So the tycoon class, they borrowed huge sums from state-backed banks and invested with gleeful abandon in one of the largest deployment of private capital since America built its railroad network more than a century and a half earlier. It was very similar to what happened in America in that period. Even today in 2018, we are coping with the hangover of the extraordinary period of growth with all the how badly things moved. Now, can India move to progressive era? It depends. In US, they had a catalyst in the form of a progressive and populist, which is not an oxymoron actually. In terms of Roosevelt or Woodrow Wilson, they have the support of the middle class to weed out the corruption, bring out reform so that they get a level playing field. But in our present-day politics in India, we have politicians, but we do not have that many political leaders. The rhetoric of policy change is like, outs the incumbent and grab the power. It's not like they want to do something for the poor or the country. So we have seen how Narendra Modi's government faced the backlash against the big ticket corruption associated with the BB of banks, bank fraud, absconding billionaires, and while in the backdrop the inequalities continue to grow. And then I'll just mention this briefly. The muckrakers are called the journalists during the Gilded Age. But in all the research in India, we do not compare the muckrakers to our media, Indian media. Because muckrakers in the US, they exposed the corruption, they led to the public outcry and legal investigation, and that also they helped in bringing in new legislations. But why are they not being compared to our news media is because maybe the investigative journalism that was there in 1900 in US is not the same here. It's more like a shouting matches that we have in TV channels. We do not understand what actually they are going in, making it things. I mean, they cannot have any legislation. So we are curiously placed in our Gilded Age, India. So we are corrupt. There used to be more stealth then, but now we are like celebrating corruption openly. But it is the era that every country goes through. That's what it is said. That similar periods of early industrialization, rapid growth, urbanization, corruption scandals, that happens everywhere. So India is also going through the same phase. It is called the Kuznets curve in social science theory, that as the development happens, the inequality first rises, then you attain a threshold, and then with the development, the inequality comes down. Maybe India is headed that way. So the questions we need to ask is, will India's political parties fight corruption? The political funding is the main issue, I think. If they can fix political funding, make it more transparent, most of our problems will be gone. Will the rising middle class throw out the corrupt? Will the wealthy systematically embrace philanthropy? okay, it may be too early to know, we do not know. We have to go through this chant and the manthan that I call it. But I like to say that in the Delhi street protest, in the philanthropy of the software tycoons like Azim Premji, Narayan Murthy, in the example of business school students finishing school and then giving up corporate jobs to work in Indian villages, in the thoughts of our alumni association that their desire to contribute to the state, to the college AEC, to the students, these are these faint green shoots of progressive, compassionate society that I see. So these are the middle class, the new middle class, whose values are evolving, plus past the bling of the golden age. Maybe we'll take some time, but I see the green shoots, because I think in this room, whatever we have been talking till now, it's all about how we contribute to the state, how we contribute to the college. When we were students, I never thought I never saw any alumni coming and saying the same things. So the whole thought process has changed. So we are going through the chant, I think we are going there, reaching there. So I'd like to end in a positive thought. Thank you. I hope you like this.
Thank you so much, Gitimabba. I'm so proud of you. Proud of you of the way that you have excelled as a professional. Proud of you for making finance such a beautiful story for us, right? And definitely now we can read finance. Thank you so much. And Sir Hazarika sir? Yes. I think he needs no introduction.
Again, thank you, Dhruva for giving me chance to speak something. But he told me that you have to talk about some energy, global scenario, including India's scenario, and to finish up in 10 minutes. That time I thought it was a really Herculean task to finish up talk on energy. Subject is vast. Now giving me the 5-minute time, I must say it should be if I can finish it, I must get the Guinness Book of World Record. That is the most important. So, but you know, I now all of a sudden I could find that kya bolu, what I should talk. If I start talking about energy, it is a long subject. But anyway, I just only say energy is required for any country, for economic development in any country, energy is required. But in our country, in the worldwide also, majority energy is coming from the fossil fuel. We should know that is coal, oil and gas is the main source of energy, which is giving energy, and about 70-75% world scenario, and India it is around 85% is coming from the fossil fuel. As you know, the fossil fuels are not good, which is environmentally bad energy, and it created a lot of problem of global warming, climate change. That's why everybody is trying to go for cleaner fuel, but it is very difficult to replace this cleaner fuel, this fossil fuel by cleaner fuel. Better that some gas is a better fuel in comparison to crude oil and coal. So effort are towards that direction, that we should able to produce more gas, more utilizing gas in our industry, and as a result, we can reduce the climate change problem or global warming problem. So efforts are on. And at the same time, you know, in India, in the Indian context, I don't want to go to the global scenario. In Indian context, that India's oil import is about 84-85% oil import. We depend on import of oil, which is a huge amount of money government is paying for importing oil. As a result of economic condition is badly affected if the crude oil price goes up. Today, in the last 2 years, the crude oil price is about $50-55. It is the best chance for the government to collect save a lot of money on import of oil. As a result, it can be spent on very much development work. You can see that in the last 2 years, we still could see huge investment on the roads, infrastructure development. As I think Mr. Hammond, he talked about that without the development in infrastructure facility, and any country cannot grow. So that is the part, the good part in India that is happening. The development work is happening because of and you know, it is an import bill of if it is the same prices going on. Recently, prices stood up to $80 a barrel, and which was brought down. I think yesterday it was only $60 a barrel, $64 a barrel is a good sign. But even that, I think this import bill of 18-19 for India, it will be nearly $100 billion, which is about 7 lakh crore bill. At a lesser price, $55-56 price, crude oil, this is the situation. If crude oil price goes, what impact will come to India, you can imagine. So with that, I just thought that I'll just not go beyond it. There are many things I thought to speak, but I think I don't know. But I just want to tell you my own exploration story how I joined AEC. What happened to my, so that part will be a little bit interesting. So rather than going for very serious talk on the energy, so I want to deviate from this. I'll take 5 minutes to tell my own story about joining AEC. You see, we joined in 1969, so it is a history. So it is, आप लोग जो लोग यहाँ पे बैठा है, most of them, I think they don't know the situation what is happening in 69. In 69, I passed out from the government school of Dibrugarh. I was very good in mathematics. I was interested to go for engineering. After passing out engineering, I could find that there is no job available for the engineering. All are bekar. Lot of nibonwa, aru mane medical or birat demand. Aru mur ghor Dibrugarh Assam Medical College mane mo apply korisu medical or karone, aru mur mane friend sobe apply korise. Eta kotha je medical pale medical poribo nole BSc poribo, engineering poribo kono. Enoko obosthat mur mane ghor Dibrugarh aru mur data dhukaise class 7 ত থাকোতে. Data government school আছে. 5টা ল'ৰা ছোৱালী, আমাৰ ডাঙৰ 3জনী বাইদেউ, মই ডাঙৰ ল'ৰা, মোৰ 7ত থাকোতে ডেটা ঢুকাইছে। গোটেই ঘৰৰ অৱস্থা ভাল নহয়। মোৰ ভাইটি ডাক্তৰ হৈ ৰিটায়াৰ হ'ল। মানে ঘৰৰ অৱস্থা ক্লাছ 7ত থাকোতে ঘৰৰ অৱস্থা বেয়া যে মোক মানে ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং পঢ়াবলৈকে ডেটাৰ মানে মাহঁতৰ মানে পইচাৰ অভাৱ। স্কুলৰ টিচাৰ কলেজৰ মেডিকেল কলেজত ফাৰ্ষ্ট ডিভিজন পাছ কৰিছোঁ, মেডিকেল চিট পাই মেডিকেল নপঢ়ক বুলি। তাৰপিছত আৰু মোৰ আইতা আছিলে, মাৰ আইতা চবেই কৈছে যে মেডিকেলত চিট পালোঁ। তাৰপিছত নপঢ়িলোঁ তেতিয়া মই চিন্তা কৰিলোঁ নাই মই যাম। মোক আইতাই ছাপৰ্ট কৰিলে, ঠিক আছে ই যদি ইণ্টাৰেষ্ট হৈছে তাক ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিঙলৈ যাব দে, আৰু তাকো পঢ়িব লাগে মেকানিকেল ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং পঢ়িম, আগৰ পৰা মেকানিকেলত ইণ্টাৰেষ্ট, আৰু মানে যোৱাটো নপঢ়োঁ, গুৱাহাটীত পঢ়িম। তাৰপিছত আৰু ডিচাইড কৰি যাম। তাৰপিছত আৰু তাৰ কিছুদিনৰ পৰা পেপাৰ আহিলে 25-26 জুনত গুৱাহাটী ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং কলেজত আছাম ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং এডমিশ্যনৰ ডেট দিছে। 50% মাৰ্ক লাগে ফিজিক্স কেমেষ্ট্ৰি মেথমেটিক্সত। আহিবিলাক তেতিয়া পৰীক্ষা চৰীক্ষা নাছিলে, চিধা আহিব লাগে। তাৰপিছত আৰু মই আৰু তাৰপিছত কোনো নাই, অকলে মই। তাৰপিছত এটা লগৰ ল'ৰাক ক'লোঁ, তাৰ আকৌ 48%। মই বোলো দিবগৈ ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং কলেজৰ ল'ৰাই নাই, তোৰ এগালমান তাৰ স্পৰ্টছৰ চাৰ্টিফিকেট আছে, তাক ল'লোঁ। তাত যাব ল'লোঁ, তেতিয়া ৰাস্তা বন্ধ। এক্সপ্ল'শ্যনৰ কথা কৈছোঁ কিয় কাৰণে, এক্সপ্ল'শ্যন ইজ অলছ' তেনেকুৱাকৈ বিৰাট আনচাৰ্টেনিটি। মোৰ সেই একেই ধৰণৰ অৱস্থা। তাৰপিছত আৰু ৰাস্তা বন্ধ, তাৰপিছত আৰু পাবগৈ লাগে, উপায় নাপায় কি কৰিলোঁ, তেতিয়া ফকাৰ ফেঞ্চিপ এখন এয়াৰক্ৰাফ্ট চলিছিলে ডিব্ৰুগড়ৰ পৰা গুৱাহাটীলৈ। 2টা টিকেট ল'লোঁ, 44 rupees পাৰ টিকেট, ষ্টুডেণ্ট কনচেছন। গৈ গুৱাহাটী পালোগৈ, যেনে তেনে পালোঁ আৰু আহি পেলাই গুৱাহাটীত নামিলোঁ। মোৰ বাইদেউৰ ঘৰ হাজাৰত, এই 4 কিলোমিটাৰ দূৰ। প্লেনৰ পৰা নামি আকৌ ৰিক্সা ধৰিছোঁ দেই, ৰিক্সা ধৰি বস্তু লৈ পেলাই বাইদেউৰ ঘৰ পালোগৈ। বাইদেউ ক'বই নোৱাৰে। তেতিয়া বাইদেউ কৈছে কেলৈ আহিলি? মই ক'লোঁ কালি ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং কলেজত এডমিশ্যন আছে, যাব লাগে। বোলো অঁ ঠিক আছে। ভিনদেউ ইউনিভাৰ্চিটিৰ প্ৰফেচাৰ, ভিনদেউ ৰাতিপুৱা ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং কলেজত নমাই দিলে। ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং কলেজত গৈ দিছোঁ, ল'ৰা চৰা কোন নাই, চোন চাম এই মৰিশালীৰ নিচিনা। এইখন কি হ'ল, এইখন কলেজত পঢ়িব নাই? তাৰপিছত গৈ পেলাই কাউণ্টাৰ বিচাৰি পালোগৈ, কাউণ্টাৰ কোনো 2-4টা ল'ৰা ঘূৰি ফুৰিছে, নাই আৰু। তাৰপিছত বোলো এইখন কি কলেজ বন্ধ হৈ যাব নেকি? মানে গম পাইছোঁ যে ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিঙৰ চাকৰি নাই, গতিকে এইটো অৱস্থা হৈছে আৰু। তাৰপিছত কাউণ্টাৰ সোমালোঁ, ফৰ্ম এখন দিলে, ফিল আপ কৰি দিলোঁ। মোৰখন দেখিয়ে কৈছে এই আপুনি এডমিশ্যন লওক। মোৰ লগৰটো কৈছে এই এখেতে নহ'ব দেই। মই পিছত কেলৈ নহ'ব, ইমান ল'ৰাই নে এডমিশ্যন ল'বলৈ, আমি 2টা আহিছোঁ, তাকো 48%, 2% ক'বলৈ কি হ'ব? ইমান দাম তাৰ স্পৰ্টছ চাৰ্টিফিকেট তাক দিয়ক। তাৰ নাম দীনেশ দৰা আছিলে। তাৰপিছত তাৰপিছত মই নোৱাৰোঁ, এইটো ৰুল মতে ৰুল। তাৰপিছত আৰু তাৰ নিদিয়া দেখি মই আৰু ল'ৰা ছোৱালী নেদেখি মই এডমিশ্যন নল'লোঁ। গৈ পেলাই গুচি গ'লোগৈ ঘৰলৈ, বাইদেউ ঘৰলৈ। গৈ ক'লোঁ যে মই নলওঁ, এখন কি হৈছে, মেডিকেলৰ চিটো গ'ল। ইমান ভিৰ মানে মেডিকেলৰ ৱেইটিং লিষ্টৰ পৰা ল'লেই। তাৰপিছত আৰু মই হেৰি কি কয়, পিছদিনা বাইদেউ দীনেশক পঠাই দিলোঁ, তই যাগে আৰু বোলো মই আৰু কি কৰোঁ ক'ব নোৱাৰোঁ। পিছদিনা ভিনদেউ আকৌ নমাই দিলে। গৈ দেখিছোঁ যে 15-20টামান ল'ৰাই আহিছে, ছেকেণ্ড ডে 2 দিন দিছিলে। তাৰপিছত আৰু মই দেখি তাহাঁতৰ মতে ৰৈ পেলাই ফৌজ দি পেলাই এডমিশ্যন ল'লোঁ। লৈ পেলাই এমাহমান বাইদেউৰ ঘৰত থাকিলোঁ। আগষ্টৰ পৰা ক্লাছ আৰম্ভ হৈছে। তাৰপিছত দেখোঁ ক্লাছ আৰম্ভ কৰোঁতে গৈছিলে, প্ৰথম দেখিছোঁ যে ল'ৰা হৈছে দেই, মানে 60-70টামান বেটছত সোমাইছে। তাৰপিছত ৰোল কল লওঁতে ছাৰে লওঁতে এটা নাম ক'লে, এনে কৈছে বাণী বৰদলৈ। মই বাণী বৰদলৈ, মোৰচোন দেউতাই পঢ়িব ল'ৰা, এইটোকো পাইছে। তাৰপিছত দেখিছোঁ বাণীদা পঢ়ি আছে পিছফালে। তেতিয়া গম পালোঁ পিছত যে আমাৰ সময়ত যিবিলাক 50% ল'ৰা নোযোৱা দেখি BSc পাছ কৰা ল'ৰাবিলাকক ডাইৰেক্ট এডমিশ্যন দি দিলে। যিবিলাকে BSc পাছ কৰে দে কেন কাম ডাইৰেক্টলি গেট এডমিশ্যন। সেইবিলাক BSc ল'ৰা আমাৰ বেটছৰ পৰা 30টামান আছিলে, গোটাই মিলি 60-70টামান হ'ল। তাৰপিছত আহি পেলাই 5 বছৰ ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং কলেজত বৰ বঢ়িয়াকৈ পাৰ হৈ গ'ল। সেইবিলাক কথাটো চবেই জানে, ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিঙৰ জালুকবাৰীত বহুত মাৰপিটো হৈছিলে ইউনিভাৰ্চিটিৰ লগত, ছোৱালীসকলক গণ্ডগোল কৰা, সেইবিলাক কৰা, এই মিছা মিছি কিবা কিবি চবতে ভাগ লোৱা হৈছিলে আৰু। তাৰপিছত গৈ পেলাই ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং পাছ কৰিলোঁ, কিন্তু আমাৰ এবাৰ 6 মাহ দিলে হ'ল। পৰীক্ষা চৰীক্ষা ৰিজাল্ট কৰোঁতে ফেব্ৰুৱাৰী পালেগৈ। ফেব্ৰুৱাৰীত মই মানে 1974 সেইকাৰণে মোৰ এবছৰ লোকচান হ'ল ডক্টৰবিলাক অৱস্থা নাই চাকৰি নাই না তাৰপিছত আমাৰ চাকৰি যে মই ঘৰত বহি বহি এপইণ্টমেণ্ট এটা পাইছোঁ ইলেক্ট্ৰিচিটি বৰ্ড ফ্লাড কণ্ট্ৰল পেপাৰ মিল কলেজত প্ৰথমে লেকচাৰ কৰিলোঁ 3-4 মাহৰ পালোঁ তাৰপিছত পদাৱলী ছাৰে ক'লে তুমি ইয়াত বহি থাকিলে যদি চিৰিয়াছলি পঢ়া যদি লেকচাৰ হৈ থাকে জিন্দগী তোমাৰ তেনে থাকা নহ'লে বেলেগ কৰি যোৱাগৈ এতিয়া মোক এক্সাম্পল দিলে মদন দাস ইমটালী ছাৰ জানে না চবে ইমটালী ছাৰে মই যেতিয়া আহিছোঁ কলেজত সোমাইছোঁ তেওঁ এম.টেক কৰি পেলাই আহি পেলাই কেমিকেল ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্টত লেকচাৰ হৈ আছে তাৰপিছত এদিন মানে যেতিয়া মই নাজিৰাত চাকৰি কৰি থাকোঁতে তেওঁক মানে দেখিলোঁ মানে ইণ্টাৰভিউ দিবলৈ আহিছে মই এতিয়া এক্সিকিউটিভ ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰ বোলো ছাৰ আপুনি কি লাগিছে কৈছে বোলে এই নক'বা কলেজত বহি বহি আমল লাগিলে এটা আডভাৰ্টাইজ পাইছোঁ তাই গুচি আহিলোঁ চাওঁচোন কি মই নাহোঁ বোলে আপুনি নাহিব দেই আপুনি নাহিব আপোনাৰ কেনেকৈ আপুনি কাম কৰিব মোতকৈ 8-10 বছৰমান ডাঙৰ আহিছে তাৰপিছত আৰু পিছত এদিন ইমান যে ইণ্টাৰভিউ ছাৰ আহিলে বোলো কি আহিলে আপুনি ইনক্ৰিমেণ্ট কেইটামান দিলে তাত বহি বহি কি কয় মাখিও নাইকিয়া হ'ল তাত আমাৰ কলেজত গতিকে আহি পেলাই সোমালোঁ তেনেকুৱা অৱস্থা মানে তাৰপিছত কি নহওক আমাৰ চাকৰি তাকৰি মানে আমাৰ অল ইণ্ডিয়াত মানে চাকৰি কৰিবলৈ মানে আমি পাওঁতে চাকৰি পালোঁ তাৰপিছত অল ইণ্ডিয়াত সোমালোঁ অল ইণ্ডিয়াৰ পৰা পিছত মই এইটো ষ্টেজ এতিয়া ক'ব নোৱাৰোঁ এইটো আৰু এটা মোৰ এক্সপ্ল'ৰেশ্যনৰ ছেকেণ্ড ফেজ ইজ মাছ লংগাৰ হাউ আই জইন অইল ইণ্ডিয়া দেট ইজ অলছ' এ বিগ ষ্টৰী অইল ইণ্ডিয়া হাউ আই জইন ONGC অইল ইণ্ডিয়াত থাকোঁতে তাৰপৰা অইল ইণ্ডিয়াৰ পৰা মানে আই ৱাজ দি অনলি বয় ফ্ৰম আছাম হুজ ৱাজ গট এ কল ফৰ ইণ্টাৰভিউ এট বৰোডা ফ্ৰম দুলীয়াজান এতিয়া এইবিলাক বহুত কথা হ'ল আজি নকওঁ দেই এইটো মানে এইটো ডাঙৰ এক্সপ্ল'শ্যন হিষ্ট্ৰী আল্টিমেটলি আই কুড চে মানে অইল এক্সপ্ল'শ্যন যেনেকুৱা গেমলিং মোৰ জীৱনত অইল ছেক্টৰত অহাটো এটা গেমলিং কেনেকৈ মই আহি পেলাই অইল ছেক্টৰত সোমালোঁ ONGC সোমাই মানে ONGCত সোমাই ভগৱানৰ কৃপাত মোৰ মানে অৱস্থা ভালেই হ'ল যিটো মই প্ৰথমতে হায়াৰ ছেকেণ্ডেৰী পাছ কৰি পেলাই মোক চবেই মেডিকেল বুলি কৈছিলে পঢ়িবৰ কাৰণে মই নিজে ডিচিশ্যন লৈ ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং কৰি এতিয়া ভাবিছোঁ ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং পঢ়াৰ কাৰণে মোৰ মানে ডেষ্টিনি হেড টুক মি ডেট লাইন এণ্ড আল্টিমেটলি ৱাজ বেনিফিচিয়েল টু মি এজ টু মাই ফেমিলি এনিৱে উইচ ইউ অল দ্য বেষ্ট মিট ইউ টুমৰো
এই মেগাজিনত সংখ্যা দি পেলাই লিখি থাকিব এইটো
Right. Sir, you have achieved so much. You have reached the top of the pinnacle. But we enjoy your stories more. So thank you so much. Precious memories. And like Sir has said, I think you'll become a writer. We would love to read. Yes.
I can tell you, before retirement in 2012, I read 10 stories in my learning in ONGC, what I did, how we, all those 10 stories published in ONGC report late. And last story was how I joined ONGC, how from All India to my train journey to Baroda. Interview is really interesting, and I take some time. I don't want to explain here, but that story is number 10 was that story how I joined ONGC from All India. So anyway, good luck to all of you. So kitewa kono bhal lighter mood time pala number.
So under that program, already one of the very important mandate was getting the NBA accreditation. So recently we have got the NBA accreditation for 4 departments. So it was really a very tough job, and I'm very thankful to the diaspora as well as some alumni even from Kuwait, whose job were at stake actually. So they also helped us a lot, but ultimately we were able to clear off with 4 departments. Electronics, we were not able to get it because of faculty problem. Faculty was very less. But anyway, as a starting, I think it was a good one. So I won't be taking much of a time. So just one point I want to raise. Actually, as I am the secretary, I feel that Secretary of the Alumni Association, I feel the member base is very less. So it's very difficult when we go for conducting a program or anything. We are not able to have a linkage with the alumni. Suppose for here, we have so many senior people out here, but we are not able to connect. We are not able to reach to them. So it's a request that already we have developed a website, www.aecaa.in, that is Assam Engineering College Alumni Association. I would just like to request all of you to kindly register. One register button is there, just few details are required. So if you register, then we can keep updated. That means what we are planning. Actually, we keep on having the review meetings from Alumni Association. Last meeting we had, last week meeting we had from Alumni Association. So we are planning it in this way. Few short-term goals we are planning and few long-term goals. One of the few of the long-term goals, first one we are taking up that building alumni house in AEC campus. So that initiative we have just taken. So we are planning to launch the design by our foundation day, that is 25th of January 2019. So once we finalize the design, I think I would like to request all of you to join hands in building the alumni house, because I think we need an alumni house and with proper facilities, state-of-the-art facilities, which should include everything. So that is the few of the goals I just mentioned, as time is very limited. So thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So 1 second. Actually, a few of the merchandise item we are just releasing. One of that is a cup with the logo of the Assam Engineering College Alumni Association. And on the other side, we have the image of AEC. So, as I have just carried few pieces of this, I would just like to present to our chief guest, Kamal Kotoki sir, and kindly invite him to the stage. This is the first time we are launching this, actually.
Thank you. And I'm enjoying the whole show. I'll speak with. Huh? Apuni jane moi gakiro mai ekoi na khao moi. Apuni jitu khao moi khelu na khao. Thank you. খুব ভাল লাগিছে এটা সৰু কথা ক'ব মন গৈছে অথনি যে নামবিলাক মাতি আছিলে কিন্তু মোৰ এটা মই ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং কলেজৰ ষ্টুডেণ্ট আমাৰ পুৰণা দিনৰ সিস্টেম শশী মহন্ত ছাৰ ৰিজাল্ট লৈ আহে মানে নাম মাতে বোলে হোষ্টেলত সবৰ আমাৰ দিনত ট্ৰেডিশ্যনেল আছিলে সিমেষ্টাৰ নাছিলে নাম মাতে মানে আহি পেলাই ৰিজাল্ট দিয়ে আমি ৰখি থাকোঁ ছাৰ ৰিজাল্ট লৈ আহিছে আই থিংক শশী মহন্ত ছাৰ চবেই জানে ছাৰে মাতে আৰু অমুক হাজৰিকা যিখিনি অল ক্লিয়াৰখিনি আগতে মাতে মানে আমি বেগ পোৱা নহয় শেষলৈ ৰখি থাকোঁ নাম মাতে বা নেমাতে ঠিক নাই বেগেই ভনে পেল অমুক হাজৰিকা এক পাপা ছেকেণ্ড অমুক তমুক তমুক আমি লাষ্টৰ পিনে ৰখি থাকোঁ ছাৰে কেতিয়া মাতিব আজি বহুতৰ অৱস্থাতে বেগ পোৱা মানুহ নাম নেমাতে আৰু এটা মোৰ ষ্টৰী মনত পৰিছে আমাৰ যোৰহাট ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং কলেজৰ সুৰেন বেদী ছাৰ যায় পৰীক্ষা ল'বলৈ ফিজিক্সৰ যিদিনা আমাৰ গেষ্ট হাউচটো থাকেগৈ আগদিনা যেদিনা সুৰেন বেদী ছাৰ গ'লে আমাৰ হোষ্টেলবিলাকত পাক গ'ল কাইলৈতো চবেই ফেইল আৰু সেইটো এটা ভাৱ তাৰপিছত আমি ফিজিক্সত যেতিয়া আমি লেবলৈ যাওঁ এই কাৰ্ড টানিব লাগে ফাৰ্ষ্ট কাৰ্ডখনত দুটা পৰীক্ষা থাকে দুটা কৰিব লাগে সেইখন যদি নাপায় ছেকেণ্ড এটা চান্স এইটো নোৱাৰিম ছাৰ ছেকেণ্ড এটা দিয়ে সেইটোতে ফেইল হোৱাৰ চান্স আছে আৰু তাৰ পিছতো যদি মানে নোৱাৰে এই দুটাই নোৱাৰে অলপ বেলেগে থৈ দিয়ে মানে মানুহ ল'ৰা কেইটামান শেষত চবেই নিয়াৰ পিছত কিবা এটা ভালত পৰিব পাৰে আমাৰ লগত এজন চিনিয়ৰ ল'ৰা আছিল আমি এনেকৈ গৈছোঁ নহয় ছাৰ বহি আছে ছাৰটো কথা বতৰা নকৰে আপোনালোকে জানে মোতকৈ বেছি আমি গৈছোঁ এনেকৈ খাই গৈছোঁ সি ডাইৰেক্টলি গৈ সেই গ্ৰুপটো জইন কৰি দিছে আমি কৈছোঁ এই ইয়াত নহয় মই নোৱাৰো এইটোৱে হ'ব মানে ইমান কনফিডেঞ্চ চাওক দেখি ইমান নাৰ্ভাছ টানিবলৈও তাক This type of things I had enjoyed in my college. So many things, yes, I became nostalgic also today. Because though I am from Jorhat, but I had the opportunity to be a part of this because I am from, I did my masters from Jalupur Engineering College. So I had enjoyed both, but my Jorhat engineering part is a little bit later, I think. First love,
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Such a light session, enjoying session. Thank you so much, Professor Barsha, for making us students again with all your lectures and your instructions and everything. Thank you for all the information. And I hope you all have enjoyed it as much as I do. So if that is the case, let us have tea very, very fast for 10 minutes and come back and enjoy it. Thank you. Thank you very much. It is in the back side, please. Thank you.